What is the true price of a single moment of pleasure? I'm not asking about morality, about right or wrong. I'm asking about currency, the currency of your life force, of your very essence. What is the final bill for that fleeting, pixelated thrill, that ghost of a sensation you chase in the lonely hours of the night? You've paid it 1,000 times. You paid it with the fog in your mind the next morning. You paid it with the creative idea that dies before it ever reaches the page. You pay it with the hesitation in your voice when you should be speaking with conviction. You pay it with the invisible shield that stands between you and the woman you desire, a shield of shame and depleted energy she can feel, even if she doesn't know what it is. You close the tab, you clear the history, but the debt is transferred directly to your soul. You feel it, don't you? That quiet, gnawing emptiness that follows the artificial peak. A sense of being hollowed out, of having given away something sacred for something utterly profane and meaningless. You tell yourself it's natural, that it's just a release, but your spirit knows the truth. It was a leak, a hemorrhagios of personal power. And you are here, now, listening to these words, because a part of you is desperately tired of bleeding out. You are here because you have glimpsed the man you could be, the man of unshakable presence, of piercing clarity, of magnetic energy, and you feel the agonizing chasm between that vision and the man who compulsively gives his power away to a screen. The world has sold you a grand and devastating lie. It has taken the most potent, creative, and divine force within you, the very energy that creates life itself, and has reduced it to a cheap commodity, an itch to be scratched, a pressure to be released, a recreational activity divorced from love, from power, from purpose. Society, through its relentless marketing, its hypersexualized media, its celebration of consequence-free indulgence, has conditioned you to be a leaky vessel. It wants you weak. It wants you distracted. It wants you to endlessly seek satisfaction outside of yourself, in a cycle of craving and fleeting release that keeps you a docile consumer, forever hungry and never truly nourished. It has taught you to fear this energy, to feel shame around it, or to squander it carelessly, never once telling you the truth, that you are sitting on a gold mine, a nuclear reactor of potential, and you're using it to power a cheap light bulb for a few seconds before it burns out. But what if you were told that this very same energy, this raw, primal, often chaotic desire, is the key to everything you've ever wanted? Decades ago, a man named Napoleon Hill, after studying over 500 of the most successful men in the world, industrialists, leaders, artists, visionaries, stumbled upon this hidden secret. It was a truth so profound, so central to their success, but he dedicated an entire chapter to it in his masterwork, Think and Grow Rich. He called it sexual transmutation, a clinical-sounding name for the most magical process imaginable, the art of internal alchemy. Hill discovered that men of great achievement were universally men of high sexual nature, but they had learned, either consciously or unconsciously, how to redirect that powerful energy away from purely physical expression and channel it into their work, their ambitions, their art. They didn't suppress the fire. They built a bigger furnace. They didn't deny their nature. They elevated it. They understood that the energy that can create a human being can also create an empire, compose a symphony, or unlock a scientific breakthrough. It is the energy of life itself. It is pure creative force. And for 365 days, You have the opportunity to stop spilling it and start investing it, to embark on a journey that will not just change your habits, but will fundamentally dismantle the man you are and rebuild you into the man you were always meant to be. This is not a journey of denial. Let us be clear about that from the outset. Repression is a poison. The man who denies his sexual nature, who pushes it into the basement of his psyche out of fear or religious guilt, becomes twisted. That repressed energy courses into resentment, into judgment, into perversion, into a quiet, simmering rage. The shadow, when ignored, does not disappear. It grows stronger, more monstrous in the dark. This path is not about repression. It is about transmutation. It is about becoming a master alchemist of your own soul. The alchemists of old sought to turn lead into gold. This is the inner work they were truly symbolizing. The lead is your raw, undirected, primal sexual urge, heavy, dense, base. The gold is genius, charisma, unwavering focus, spiritual insight, and a profound sense of personal power. The journey of seminal retention is the alchemical process itself. You are the laboratory, your consciousness is the alchemist, and your life force is the prima materia, the raw material waiting to be transformed. Imagine this energy as a roaring, untamed fire. For most of your life, you have let this fire rage aimlessly. When it flares up, you quickly dose it with the cheap water of instant gratification, leaving behind only smoke and ash and a field of wasted potential. Or worse, you've let it burn you, driving you into compulsions, addictions, and patterns of behavior that bring you shame and drain your spirit. The path of transmutation is the path of the inner warrior, the blacksmith, who steps into the heat of that forge. He does not run from the fire. He builds a channel, a conduit. He learns to control the flow of air, the intensity of the heat. He takes that raw, chaotic energy and begins to hammer it, to shape it on the anvil of his will. That wildfire, once a source of destruction and fleeting release, is now focused. It becomes the fire that forges the sword of your purpose. It becomes the light that illuminates your mind with brilliant ideas. It becomes the warmth that radiates from you as magnetic presence, drawing people and opportunities to you effortlessly. This journey of 365 days is a descent into your own abyss to reclaim your power. In the first few weeks, you will meet your demons face to face. The addiction, the creature of habit that lives within your neural pathways, will scream for its fix. Your mind will concoct 1,000 brilliant rationalizations for why you should give in. You'll get sick if you don't. One time won't hurt. You deserve a little pleasure. These are a little pleasure. These are the siren songs of your own weakness, the voices of the shadow self that wants to keep you small and enslaved. You will feel the raw, untamed energy building within you, and it will be uncomfortable. It will feel like a pressure, a restlessness. This is the lead, the dense, raw material. This is the first test of the warrior. Can you sit in the fire of your own desire without being consumed by it? Can you observe the urge without becoming the urge? It is in this sacred space of observation that the magic begins. You are no longer the slave reacting to the impulse. You are the master, the consciousness absorbing the energy, and in that moment of pure observation, you reclaim your throne. As the days turn into weeks, something begins to shift. The frantic, needy energy begins to clarify. It's no longer a desperate itch, but a powerful, steady hum. a current of vitality running through your entire being. You will wake up before your alarm clock, not with a groan, but with a surge of energy, a clarity of mind you haven't felt since you were a child. The brain fog that you accepted as normal will lift, revealing a world of vibrant color and sharp focus. Your workouts in the gym will feel different. There will be an extra gear of strength, an extra reserve of endurance. You are no longer running on fumes. You are running on high-octane fuel. This is the first tangible reward of reclaiming your life force. Your body, the temple that houses your spirit, begins to heal and optimize itself with the very essence it was designed to run on. But the most profound changes happen within. The incessant chatter of the anxious mind begins to quiet down, because much of that mental noise, that looping anxiety, is the product of a depleted nervous system. When you conserve your seminal fluid, you are conserving not just a physical substance, but a complex cocktail of neurotransmitters, hormones, and life-giving nutrients that your brain and nervous system desperately need to function in a state of calm, confident equilibrium. The social anxiety that made you shrink in groups begins to dissolve. It is replaced by a solid, grounded presence. When you walk into a room, you are not seeking validation. You are a source of it. Your voice will deepen, not just in pitch, but in resonance. Your words will carry more weight because they are backed by the full force of your integrated energy. People will listen when you speak, not because you are louder, but because on a deep, subconscious level, they can feel your power, your wholeness. This is the birth of true magnetism, of charisma. It is not a technique you learn. It is an overflow of your own vital energy. It is an overflow of your own vital energy. It's in the way you hold eye contact. For the man who squanders his energy, eye contact is difficult. It feels invasive, exposing his inner emptiness. But for the man who is full of his own life force, eye contact becomes a source of connection and power. Your eyes will become clear, bright, piercing. People will feel seen by you, and they will be drawn to the light and power emanating from you. This is not an esoteric fantasy. It is observable human biology and energetic reality. You are no longer leaking your power, so your cup begins to fill, and soon it begins to overflow. And that overflow is what the world perceives as charisma, confidence, and an attractive aura. This journey is a confrontation with your deepest wounds. You must understand that your compulsion to release was never truly about sex. It was about emptiness. It was a desperate attempt to fill a void inside you. Every time you felt lonely, you sought release. Every time you felt bored, you sought release. Every time you felt the sting of failure or the fear of your own potential, you ran to the familiar comfort of a momentary, self-induced oblivion. That screen, that fantasy, was your drug of choice to numb the pain of a life not fully lived. The journey of retention forces you to face that void head-on. With no escape hatch, you are left alone with your feelings. You are forced to ask the hard questions. What is this emptiness I am trying to feel? What is the pain I am trying to numb? Where does this feeling of not enoughness come from? This is the true shadow work. The desire for release becomes a sacred messenger, a signpost pointing directly to your unhealed wounds. When the urge arises, instead of succumbing to it, you must learn to sit with it and ask it, what is it that you truly want from me right now? What is the deeper hunger beneath this physical craving? Perhaps the hunger is for genuine intimacy, not the counterfeit connection of a screen. Perhaps it is the hunger for creative expression, for a project that will consume your passion. Perhaps it is the hunger for spiritual connection, for a meaning that transcends your own ego. The sexual urge, when not immediately gratified, becomes a powerful tool for self-inquiry, peels back the layers of your conditioning, and reveals the core of your being. You will see your patterns, your projections, your childish needs for validation. It will be a painful and humbling process. You will be facing the fragmented parts of yourself that you have abandoned. But by facing them, by bringing the light of your conscious awareness to these dark places, you begin to heal, you begin to integrate, you begin to become whole. This journey is not easy. There will be days when the pressure feels unbearable, when the voice of addiction is deafening. There will be moments where you feel you are walking through a desert, alone and tested. And in those moments, the path can feel impossibly solitary. This is precisely why this channel exists. It is not here to just broadcast information at you. It is here to be a guide, a map, and a campfire for those who are walking this sacred, transformative path. Each piece of content we create is a tool, a reminder of your own inner strength, a piece of the puzzle of your own becoming. This journey of inner alchemy is too profound and too challenging to walk blindly or alone. You need reminders, you need deeper insights, you need to be connected to a current of knowledge and a community of men who are on the same path, facing the same dragons. If what I am saying resonates with you, not in your mind, but in that deep, quiet place in your gut, in your soul, then I invite you to commit to this journey with a simple, conscious act. Subscribe to this channel right now, and more importantly, activate the notification bell. Say it not as a click on a screen, but as a ritual, an act of declaration to yourself and to the universe that you are ready, that you are choosing the path of the warrior, not the slave. By activating that bell, you ensure that in your moments of weakness, a guiding light can find its way to you, a voice of strength to remind you of the man you are fighting to become. Do it now. Make this your first act of conscious redirection. As you cross the threshold of 90 days, then 180, you will begin to experience what some call superpowers, but what is, in reality, your natural state of being, unburdened by constant depletion. Your intuition will become razor sharp. You will have insights and ideas that seem to come from a source beyond your own mind. This is because you are no longer just operating from your logical brain. You are tapping into the creative intelligence of the life force itself. Your mind becomes a clear channel for inspiration. Problems that seemed insurmountable will have obvious solutions. You will develop a kind of a speedy sense about people and situations, an intuitive knowing that guides you away from danger and toward opportunity. Your creative energy will explode. For the man who retains, the need to create becomes as powerful as the need to release once was. You will feel an overwhelming urge to build something, to write something, to start that business, to compose that music, to solve that problem. This is the transmuted, energy-seeking expression on a higher plane. It is the most natural process in the universe. The life force that seeks to create life on the physical plane, when retained and redirected, seeks to create value, beauty, and order on the mental, financial, and spiritual planes. This is the secret of the genius, the aretes, the titans of industry that Napoleon Hill studied. They were not less sexual than other men. They were more sexual, and they used that immense power as the fuel for their creations. Your life's great work is gestating inside you, waiting for you to provide the raw energy to bring it to birth. By the time you approach the 1-year mark, 365 days of conscious conservation and transmutation, you will not even recognize the man who started the journey. The man who was driven by compulsion and haunted by shame will be a distant memory, a ghost of former self. In his place will stand a man of profound integrity, a man whose inner and outer worlds are in alignment, a man who is the calm eye in the center of life's storms. You will have cultivated a state of being that the Stoics called apatheia, not apathy, but a state of unshakable inner peace, of emotional resilience, of being impervious to the petty disturbances of the world. You are no longer tossed about by the waves of your own impulses or the opinions of others. You are the lighthouse, rooted in the bedrock of your own spirit. You will come to understand the true nature of power. It is not domination over others. It is dominion over oneself. It is not the force you exert in the world, but the power you cultivate within. The man who cannot control his own primalurges can never truly lead others, for his foundation is built on sand. But the man who has mastered his inner fire, who has faced his own shadow and integrated it, who has transformed his deepest desires into his highest purpose, that man becomes a king in his own right. Not a king who rules over lands and subjects, but a king who rules the inner kingdom of his own consciousness. His presence alone inspires respect. His actions are deliberate and potent. He wastes no energy, not his physical energy, not his emotional energy, not his mental energy. He is a closed circuit of power, and because of this, the universe begins to conspire in his favor. This is the true law of attraction. It is not about wishful thinking. It is about becoming so full of the energy of life, so aligned with your own purpose, that you become a vibrational match for the reality you wish to create. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. This journey culminates in a profound spiritual awakening. You will realize that this sexual energy, this life force, is not just yours. It is a sacred current that flows from the source of all creation. It is the universe's desire to experience itself, to create and expand through you. By wasting it, you were not just depleting yourself. You were cutting yourself off from the divine. By conserving and transmuting it, you become a conscious vessel for that divine, creative intelligence. Your personal ambitions begin to fall away, replaced by a sense of purpose, of mission. You are no longer just trying to get something from the world. You feel a deep, burning desire to give something to the world, to contribute your unique gift, to leave a legacy that will echo long after you are gone. The final stage of transmutation is the surrender of the ego's desires to the soul's purpose. The fire is no longer used to forge a sword for personal glory, but to light a torch that illuminates the path for others. The man who has mastered his sexual energy is not the one who has killed his desire. He is the one who has ridden the dragon. He has faced the beast within, the raw, chaotic power of his own nature, and he has not slain it, but tamed it. He has integrated its immense strength into his being, and now it serves him as a loyal and powerful ally. He does not fear pleasure, but he is no longer a slave to it. He can engage with the world of the senses from a place of wholeness, not from a place of neediness. He is the master of the house, not the beggar pleading for scraps at his own table. He has attraversato Eas crossed through the fire, and as emerged on the other side, not burned, but purified. Eas learned that the key to heaven is not by escaping the body, but by fully inhabiting it, by bringing the light of consciousness into the darkest, most primal corners of his own humanity. So look within. Feel that deep, primal pulse. It is the rhythm of creation itself, beating within your veins. For 365 days, you have a choice. You can continue to let that sacred river drain out into the desert sands of meaningless gratification, or you can choose to build a dam, to create a reservoir of immense power, and to use that power to irrigate the fields of your own life, to make your own desert bloom. The path is here. The choice is yours. The journey will ask for all of you, your courage, your will, your honesty. It will break you down before it builds you up. But the man who emerges on the other side of that year is the man you have always, in your quietest moments, known you were meant to be. A is the integrated man, the conscious man, the king of his own inner world. The journey begins not tomorrow, not next week, but now, with this single, conscious breath. The fire is waiting. Step into the forge.